Hello and welcome. I have been wanting for a while to do something about my digital TBR. I did a video earlier in the year going through everything in my physical TBR, and so I wanted to go through what I've got on my e-readers, but I kind of thought I should probably narrow it down because I have two e-readers. I have a Kindle and I have a Kobo, and there's a lot on them. So what I'm going to start with today is my Kobo. I have a Kobo Libra colour, which I am obsessed with and highly recommend. But just to narrow it down further, I'm actually going to do the books that I have out on Kobo Plus. So that's the Kobo equivalent of Kindle Unlimited. But for me, it works out really well just with the types of books that there are. So I'm going to go through the unread books that I have currently on Kobo Plus. I think there's around 30. And I'm going to go newest to oldest. And let's get started. So the most recent one that I added was Captive in the Underworld by Lian Yu Tan. And this one is a dark sapphic retelling of Hades and Persephone, which sounds amazing. So very, very excited for that. Then I have got Menage a Clause by Emilia Lascaux. Sorry if I said that wrong. I'm really, really bad with pronouncing names. This one is MMF, I believe, and paranormal, which we love. I think I saw about this on, I'm going to say Talk About Swoon, who does amazing trope posts on Instagram. I'm pretty sure it was on one of her recommendation roundups. So and I've seen a few people talking about it, so very excited. That one is the start of a series as well, which I do seem to collect. Then we've got a series that I am actually partway through. So Master of Storms by Beck McMaster. This one's book 5 in Legends of the Storm, which is kind of dragon shifters, fated elements, lots of political intrigue in there as well, and lots of fun. They have really cool abilities. I'm just loving the series. Very excited to read that. I think there's 6 books in the series, maybe. Might even only be 5. I can't remember. So actually made some good progress with that one. I'm really loving it. Okay, then we have got Stars and Soil by Dax Murray, and this one is the first book in a series again. It's fantasy romance. I believe it has got a sapphic rep in it as well, which that particular combination is always going to get me. I don't remember much about it from what I've seen. I think it's like some sort of court or royalty type situation. Most fantasy romances, so that's a fairly safe bet anyway. But I've seen a few people talking about it and it just sounds exactly my sort of thing. So hopefully I will read that one soon. Okay, then the next few that I've got are all series continuations, so that's always nice. So I have got Found in Bliss by Sophie Oake, or Lexi Blake writing as Sophie Oake, which is the 5th book in the Nights in Bliss series. I am dual reading the Bliss series and the Texas Sirens series until I catch up to where I am in Masters and Mercenaries, because there is an overarching contemporary timeline for all of Lexi Blake's books. And really, really loving all of those, and discovering that all of her books were on Kobo Plus was my favourite discovery of the year, I think. Then we have got Her Summer Dragon Mate by Arizona Tape, which is the 5th book in the Crescent Lake Shifters series. These are all sapphic dragon fated mates paranormal books, so they're good ones to read if I kind of want to switch things up a little bit. That author is actually going to Rare in London next year, so that's quite exciting as well. So hopefully I'll get to see her there. Then I've got Death's Abyss by S.D. Simper. This is the 3rd and final book in the Sea and Stars trilogy, which is mermaids. Sapphic fantasy with mermaids. and really good. I started reading this after Little Miss Star on Instagram, who I get on very, very well with. Like, it's one that they talk about all the time. So yeah, very, very much enjoying that one from that recommendation. Then, even further into a series, we have got Marked by an Assassin by Felicity Heaton. And this is book 8 in the Eternal Mates romance series. I think there's like 20 books in this series, maybe. It's a lot. They're all kind of fated mates, as the Eternal Mates suggests. Paranormal romance. So far in the series, we have had different shifters, we have had demons, we have had elves. Like, it's all going on. So really, really enjoying those. I haven't read any for a little while, actually. I think it's been a few months since I read book 7. But again, just one that I love to go back to. Then I have got an author that I haven't read from. So this is My Gingerbread Ever After by Erin Bedford. And this is a fantasy romance fairy tale. Hence the gingerbread, I'm guessing, and the ever after. Erin Bedford is someone that I met at Rare this year, and I've kept meaning to read this book ever since I saw her mention it in one of the Facebook groups. So yeah, that's on there. It's been on there a little while. Will I necessarily get to it as soon as some of the others? Probably not, but it does look interesting. Then we have got something a bit different, which is the Homecoming graphic novel from Mercy Thompson. So these are like prequel stories for the Mercy Thompson series, and I'm going to admit they weren't on my radar to kind of read at all, but if I can read them as part of my Kobo Plus subscription, I'm onto a winner. So yeah, kind of intrigued to see how that is. So the next one that I've got, which I had actually forgotten about, is Wrapped Up in You by Talia Hibbert. This one is a Christmas contemporary romance, and it is a Kobo original. So I haven't read it before because until earlier this year, I didn't have a Kobo. And yeah, I forgot that was on there. Do you know what? I might actually read that later because I finished my book last night and I hadn't decided what to read next. And that might be it. That might just be it. Exciting. Then the next book that I have got is Hot Shot by Claire Lydon. This one is slightly shamefully, I won this book in a giveaway, a paperback copy. And for some reason I haven't picked it up yet. I think I keep doing that thing where I think I don't like contemporary romance even though I do. But yeah, for whatever reason I haven't read it yet, but I have got it checked out on Kobo Plus as well in the hope that I do read it. It is a sapphic football romance, and by football I mean soccer if you're outside the UK, which I'm very, very excited for. Then we have got a book that I have seen so much about on BookTube for so long, and I kind of feel like at some point I have to read. That is Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. From what I know, this has some fantasy stuff, it has some dark stuff, very dark from what I've seen some people say, but dark is always subjective. And yeah, I found out it's on Kobo Plus, so I have that one checked out, ready to try. Then I also have Witch, Cat and Cob by J.K. Pendragon. I am going to be honest, I remember, this has been on here for a while, I remember nothing about what this is, why this is on here. I'm assuming paranormal from having witch in the name. But yeah, I'll do some digging on that and see. Some of these I have had pretty much since I got Kobo Plus, which was like the very start of the summer or something. So they kind of made a bit more sense at the time, maybe. Who knows? But I'll definitely look into that one and see what it is. Then I have got To Win a Demon's Love by Nadine Mutas, which is the second book in the Love and Magic series. I massively, massively enjoyed book 1, but I read it at a point where I was trying to read loads and loads of different authors back before Rare in London in 2023. And because it basically meant I started loads and loads of different series and was like, this is really silly, I'm going to have to prioritise a few. So hopefully, as I start to finish some series, I can go through and like go back to some of these others, because I really, really enjoyed the first book. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was to seduce a demon something, maybe? I don't remember, but it was good. So yeah, I really want to continue with that series. Oh boy, this is just making me realise how many books I have I want to read. We'll get there. Then I have got a fantasy romance that I want to start. So that's A Broken Blade by Melissa Blair, this is the first book in the Halfling saga. And again, this one, all I remember is that it's fantasy romance and that I've heard some people absolutely raving about it. And it looks like one that is a good fit for me. So I couldn't tell you anything else about it right at this moment in time. I couldn't tell you what it was about this particular one that made me add it. But yeah, we're looking forward to that. Then I have got The Tenant by Katrina Jackson, which is, I think, kind of paranormal vibes in a mostly contemporary setting from what I remember. I know a lot of people in the Bang in the Night Discord were talking about it. So I got intrigued and downloaded it. Then we have got Rock Courtship by Nalini Singh, which is book 1.5 in the Rock Kiss series. I very much enjoyed book 1. It's the only one of Nalini Singh's contemporaries that I have read. Obviously, I love her paranormals. They are literally right behind me. But yeah, I really want to continue with these. I think, again, it is just that thing where I have been trying to actually make some headway in a few series. Unfortunately, I have then at the same time lost a bit of track and started loads of extra series. But it will happen. It will. The start of next year, I will attack some of these series that I have been meaning to read. It's definitely going to happen. Definitely. I hope. Then we have got another one that I had forgotten was on here, so I'm very excited. So this one is Amor Actually, which is a holiday romance anthology with all sorts of authors on it. The first two that are listed that I can see on here are Adriana Herrera and Alexis Daria, who I adore, like everything that I've read by both of those authors. So again, this might be one for me to pick up very, very soon, because actually seasonal. I mean, I've read 3 Christmas books already this year, so I'm not generally that great. But can we imagine if I actually read Christmas and holiday books, like, in and around December? It'd be mind-blowing. But yeah, so I've heard amazing things about that anthology and excited to have a look. Then we have got Radiance by Grace Draven. Grace Draven writes fantasy romance books. I have read one of hers so far and did enjoy it, so that's another one to check out. Then we have got Her Night with the Duke by Diana Quincy, and this one, unusually for me, is actually historical romance, which I think is probably why it's still there, because I don't think I ever go, oh, I'm in the mood for historical romance. But it sounds quite interesting, because I think it's like they meet and have a night, and then it turns out that like he's gonna be in her life in a different capacity. So yeah, I'm kind of coming to the conclusion from going through these, there's loads of books that I really want to read but I never think about, so I might have to do a Kobo Plus random reads vlog at some stage to go through them. We'll see. So the next one that I've got is Being Hospitable by Mika James, which is, I think, Sapphic contemporary. And let's just check. Let's have a check. Ooh. Best friend sibling. I love a sibling's best friend one. Okay. Yeah, very excited. So yeah, Sapphic contemporary. It's the first book in a series and an author that I have heard really good things about. So that's for giving that one a try. We have got Purposefully Accidental by G. Benson. Again, an author that I keep feeling like I need to try, because I haven't read any of their stuff. And I mean, this one's got a red carpet on the cover, so I'm guessing we have some sort of celebrity involvement in it. But yeah, I will go into that one knowing very little. We have got Office Hours by Katrina Jackson, which again is one I think I've seen talked about on BookTube somewhere, with college professors. So there's that. We have got Binding Shadows by Jasmine Silvera, which is the first book in the Tooth and Spell series, which is paranormal romance. So do you know what? I weirdly haven't read as much paranormal romance this year, which is a bit of a shame, although I have had like 2 quite long urban fantasy series that I've been working my way through, and I think that's probably partly had a reason. But I'm hoping to get more into my paranormal romance series next year, and this is definitely one that I want to try. And then finally, speaking of the urban fantasy series that I've been reading, I have got Blood Kissed by Kerry Arthur, which is the first book in the Lizzie Grace series. And I've had this series highly, highly recommended to me by someone that I very much trust their reviews, Tina's Book Nook on Instagram. However, I have been reading Kerry Arthur's Riley Jensen series for the last, I don't know, half year. So I have now read 7 of the 9 books in that series, and once I finish those, then I can look at reading Lizzie Grace. So yeah, very excited to know that those are on Kobo Plus when I get to that point. Wow, okay, so that was a lot. It was definitely, for me, good to go through and see kind of what I had maybe forgotten existed, and just remind myself just how many amazing books are on here, because I do sometimes forget. I might go through at some point, maybe the start of next year, with the books that I own on Kobo or on Kindle, to just kind of go through some of the other books I'm looking at. But I'm definitely now thinking of how can I make sure that I get to these books early on in next year. And as I'm kind of planning things out a bit more, it's a good time to look at that. If there's been anything on here that you're thinking, wow, you absolutely have to prioritise that, then please let me know. Or if there's anything that you're kind of interested in, if there's any of the series that you want to know a bit more about, let me know on that as well. And I will see you soon. Bye.